Well, I hope you guys can handle this. We're back. Episode 22, Slam Pigs Cruise Control. Man, it's another week's coming, going, flown by, just like the Cruiserweights on 205 Live. One of the main men is back in the house. Yes, that's right. Colin has returned, but until we get to that, Mr. 205 Live, Mr. Hot Fire, Logan Myers, the crown prince of pepperoni, the king of Logies Hoagies. What's going on, Pally? How was your week? Glad to be on Future Wrestling DX episode this week. Thank you for having me. What's going on? Where can you check you out? And now you can take it, Logan, because I don't think you could hear me. I just threw it to you. Sorry about the tech issues.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't hear you. You were going in and out. But
I was just saying, Logan,
guys...
I just did your little spazzy intro and all that stuff you love with the Logies Hoagies. You'll hear it on the on-demand version. But I was saying, where can everyone check you out? And I was saying, thank you for having me on your Old School DX episode on your little channel, Future Wrestling Podcast. Man, tell everyone where they can check it out. As always, all that good shit.
Well, you guys, of course, Travis, it's happy to have you on the show. It was a good show. Very good show. You guys can check me out on Twitter at LoganMars144. You can check out that episode of the old school edition of the Generation X with Travis and Bronson and Megan Starr on Future Wrestling Podcast on YouTube. Just go like, subscribe, and enjoy. And again, we're back with Cruise Control.
We are.
Travis.
We are. And I will say, speaking of enjoying, you mentioned the word enjoy. I know you're going to enjoy having back continuous Colin Dunn. What's going on, man? 2 weeks. Good to have you back. Couldn't make last week. What's going on? How have you been? And where can everyone check you out?
I've been... Yeah, it's yeah. We'll just go with that. You know, my job, it kills me all the time. But I'm always very tired now, and 205 Live sometimes helps, sometimes it doesn't. As always, you can check me out on Twitter at UberTieGuy, and you can check me out on the Pro Wrestling Roundtable, where we have recently recorded our 1-year anniversary episode. It's honestly hard to believe we've even lasted that long. But you can check that out in a couple of days when it drops eventually, maybe, hopefully, we'll see.
There you go, guys. Get over there, check it out. And check out Future Wrestling, like Logan said. As always, follow me on Twitter at TheHibikitMD. Hit that subscribe right down below. As always, gentlemen, and one thing, you know, everybody sees the thumbnails. We know what the gist of the episode is. The biggest news of the week as far as 205 Live. And I will say one thing. You got to turn lemons, you know, into fucking lemonade sometimes. This does put a buzz on 205 Live, good or bad. For the time being, it does. So we'll go with that. But cards subject to change. Entered the test of time in pro wrestling, and my God, has that ever rang true this week, gentlemen? I was expecting to, when we did the show this week, to come in and, you know, we have a new number one contender, what route they're going to go, but that didn't happen, Logan, did it? What the hell did you do, Rich Swann?
I don't know what he did.
That was some unfortunate news, dude, because I don't know how anyone else found it out, but for me, I was at work. Because as I'm sure some of the people listening know, I work nights at Target. And so I was at work and I was just getting off of my break. And yeah, I'm walking back to where I was supposed to be going. And yeah, I'm on my phone and I'm just scrolling through Facebook. And one of my friends posts a mugshot. And I'm just like, is that old? What? And then I look at his reason. I was like, oh, shit, Rich, what did you do?
Yeah. Logan, initial thought. I mean, I found out when I woke up because we don't work nights. And usually when I'm like this groggy and just waking up, I'm used to like seeing like a Jericho New Japan, but not this. And, you know, I saw he was trending and then I got that, you know, sense of dread like we all do in this day and age. And immediately I thought sexual harassment suit. That's immediately where my mind went, but can you blame me? But no, Logan, what exactly went down for those that don't know with Mr. Richard R. Swann this week?
Well, let's just plain as day was there's charges in question that could potentially lead to 5 years in prison because if he's convicted of charges of battery, kidnap, false imprisonment of an adult, Rich Swann at 26 years old was taken in custody at midnight just the other night and incarcerated at the county jail, you know, with the charges in question. It's insane.
I don't know if it's insane. It's a shame. I will say the name of his wife real quick, the altercation. Colin, what was the name real quick? Name check.
Su Young.
Su Young, him and his wife were traveling in a vehicle. Apparently got into an argument over her working, because she's a worker too. They got in a heated dispute over critiquing one of her matches. Rich Swann, I guess, pulled over, or she jumped out, one of the two, and tried to leave. He then followed her, exited the vehicle, grabbed her by the arm, against her will, obviously, and put her back in the vehicle and drove off. Now, that's the story she's given the cops. Obviously, Rich Swann, I'm sure you guys have read the police reports. I read the police reports too. What the hell happened here? He's denying it. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Obviously, WWE puts a statement out immediately, as they always do, as they should, flat out. It's never a good look. And quite frankly, if it is true, fucking shame on you, Rich Swann. Don't do that. But still, they put out a statement, indefinitely suspending him. He is out. So they're redoing a Fatal 4-Way this Monday night. Oh, they did, excuse me. Cedric Alexander is the other half now against Drew Gulak next week. But gentlemen, I got to think he's done. I mean, false or not. You guys agree?
Oh, you cut out for a second. I don't think he'll be. I don't think he'll be fired. I do think he'll be back eventually. But as far as like getting a championship run or like being featured in prominent storylines, I think for that, I think he's done there. Like, and it's really sad because I mean during the Cruiserweight Classic, and when he was winning the title a year ago, you had sort of the redemption story going on about him being homeless in the past and him having all these troubles and him finally making it to the big time and him winning the championship. And, now you have this and you think he might win the championship again. I honestly don't know which direction they were going to go, if they were going to have Rich Swann win or they were going to have Drew Gulak win. But I mean, regardless, Rich Swann has not been in the title picture for a long time. And he just got out of that TJP rivalry. So it was nice to see him back in like a big storyline for the Cruiserweights, and this has just completely shifted everything.
Yeah. Logan?
Like Colin said, it's a sad situation that happened. Supposedly, you didn't we didn't mention the fact that supposedly he put her in a headlock and
Yes.
and all this other stuff. It's just is that stuff should not happen. And like you said, Travis, the WWE, putting their report out and all that and suspending him right off the bat was the smart move. But in the long run, I hope, I hope this is just false and that everything can go back to the way it was. But I just don't see a title run with Rich Swann anymore now.
It just seems so, literally, I know it's cliche, but one of the last guys you would expect from, like, shoots I've seen with Rich Swann, he seems so laid back. Like, he just seems so, you know what I mean? Like, the last guy you expect this from, and it's a shame. And for all parties involved, I guess I wish the best. If it is true, he probably obviously is done. Another question people ask, will the Indies book him? Fucking Bram is taking bookings as we speak, so I'm pretty sure he'll get a spot on the Indies, guys. It's ridiculous. Unless you're Michael Elgin, you're getting booked, so have no fear.
Oh, poor Mike. Poor Big Mike.
That's another show for another day, definitely. Other than that, real quick, the polls this week, Logan. How were the polls, my friend?
The polls were really good this week. The first poll that we had out was, is Hideo Itami what 205 Live needs? And the winning poll answer, well, let's first let's go with you guys and what you guys gave the answer to, and then I'll give the results.
Let's let the man with the plan who wasn't here, Colin, give his take on
it. Oh, excuse me, a little under the weather.
Best Braun Strowman impersonation and all.
Yeah, there you go. Is Hideo Itami what 205 Live needs? At this point, I feel like anything will help. 205, I mean, as much as I love Enzo Amore and as much as I love him being champion and, what we've said in the past, it has gone back down and it is sort of dwindling and, there was a "This is boring" chant tonight on 205 Live during one of the, the Zoe Train segments. So, I mean...
Very audible, and we'll get to that.
Oh, yeah. It wasn't one of those you could it was a very loud chant, too. Drew Gulak was probably losing his shit.
He looked pissed, legit, when that show went off the air.
But, Is Hideo what they need? I mean, like I said, I think anything helps at this point. It is confirmed he will be debuting next week. They did confirm that on 205 Live. Someone else is supposedly showing up next week is Rockstar Spud. So, I mean, hey, maybe Rockstar Spud will be the life the 205 Live needs. You never know.
Maybe they show up together simultaneously. We've seen that kind of before certain times in promotions when two
I
guys
mean,
debut.
it could be one of those things where like Rockstar Spud makes his debut on 205 Live or Raw or wherever he debuts, and people's like, "Oh shit, Rockstar Spud's here," and then it just gets completely overshadowed because Hideo Itami is his opponent, and then Hideo Itami just murders Rockstar Spud in the ring.
Yeah, I don't think it would benefit Spud because I think they would put Itami over. And I don't know, it's kind of
Without a doubt.
right now, unless Itami's going for the title, booking wise on this show, because Grand Metalik, like we said, Logan, came out tonight. Well, we will say later on, he came out tonight to return. So they got that Gallagher and the Kendrick little click there. They got a feud for them. It's just got to be transitional until you get past whoever the new number one contender is. But the question is, what? I mean, you could do anything at this point. Like, I totally agree with what Colin said. I said kind of the gist of that last week. Any kind of fucking buzz is good at this point with the show because it's just, it's just bad. It's the thing about this show, and I watched it with a casual fan tonight, and she very audibly, many a times, it's the acting, and these are not the guys to get these scripted promos to. Sometimes some of these guys pull it off, but it just comes off so bad. But the in ring, more times than not, is really good, but there's not a balance, and it's visible to casual fans, and that's why we're getting audible. This is boring. Chances why it's just not working. They need to go one way or the other. I feel they need to say fuck this hybrid. We got to have our cake and eat it too bullshit. Either book it serious or book it bullshit. I guess with the hookiness. But Tommy's a positive, in my opinion. Sorry to go off on a tangent there. It's easy to do when you watch 205 Live, though, I guess, gentlemen.
Yeah. By the way, shout out to my boy Hammer's Production in the chat.
Yes, sir. I don't want to risk bringing up the chat because the last two live streams I've done, it's nearly crashed the show. So thank you, Colin, for managing the chat. Appreciate it. Thank you, Hammers Productions, for stopping by. He's a cool dude. Definitely.
Oh, yeah. But as for the winning poll answer, no was with 36%, the most out of the four. Yes had 35, maybe had 26. And other competitor, I don't know who voted for this, but a 2% as a random vote. So you can look at that. And then I also had another poll up this week. Is it Cedric Alexander's time? And first, I want to get you guys' opinions on that.
Colin?
Is it Cedric Alexander's time? At this point, might as well be. I mean, he's definitely one of the more underutilized cruiserweights in the division. He's definitely one of the best. I mean, past Mustafa Ali, he's probably one of the best in-ring workers they have. And so, with Cedric Alexander being the one to win the Fatal 4-Way, if they were going to go with Rich Swann as the winner and have him beat Enzo Amore, or just have him, there, at this point, I assume Cedric Alexander would still, just sort of fit into those plans, just replace one guy with another guy. And so I would love to see Cedric Alexander as Cruiserweight champion. I mean, like I said, love Enzo Amore, love him as champion, but sooner or later he does have to lose the title, and if it has to be to someone, why not Cedric Alexander, who has yet to win the title?
Yeah. Do I think
and
it's
what
Cedric
about
Alexander? I think it was Cedric Alexander's time before 205 Live even debuted as a show in general. I just think it's borderline past his time, but it's not too late. And obviously we've seen, and I'll flat out say it tonight for Alexander's match, even though it was with Daivari of all people, it had momentum. He's got a little bit of momentum now. This second chance stuff with the Swan. That's what I said. The negatives are new positive. That news story got eyes, I guess, on that he was even in a number one contenders match because a lot of people probably just disregarded it, didn't know. So now they know. They're like, oh. So, and it's kind of like that forced change type of scenario we've seen in booking situation with having a choice where it literally, like, quite frankly, it excites fans a little bit more. It gets the finger on the pulse, I should say, is a better word. So I feel like he's got more momentum than he did a week ago, definitely. It's a shame that Rich Swann had to go through this or vice versa, his wife or whatever the fuck happened to make that happen. But yeah, I think it is in the long run. And I think the end game, not to go backtrack real quick, Logan, but I think there's a lot of difference to, end the Tommy debate. There's a hell of a lot of difference from for the better for the show and flat out being the saving grace of the show. I don't think Itami will be the saving grace. I think he'll be a vital piece of the puzzle, but I think a great route is maybe a heel Itami and a babyface Cedric towards Mania season. If done seriously, those could be tremendous matches, of course. I know. If they're going to salvage it, it's go time. Like, I don't know why they're playing grab ass. Like, yeah, the Zoe train, the way they close the show tonight, the fans chant, it's just, what the fuck? Like, and I know, like, people are going to get hyped about Itami, I guess, next week, but we'll see. Just do something. Pull the trigger on someone, basically, I think is what Colin and I are saying. Just do anything, you know?
What upsets me is how little of a reaction Drew Gulak gets, because he's so good. I love Drew Gulak now. Way more than I did a couple of months ago, so thank you, Travis, for introducing me to the greatness that is Drew Gulak.
You would have come around anyway, because he shines on the show.
Yeah, very true. But it disappoints me that, you know, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the placement of the show, like, you know, they just sat through, you know, 2 hours of SmackDown and so they're burnt out, or they just, you know, they don't give a shit. But I mean, it's sad because, like, for the last few weeks, and it's really obvious too, you know, Drew Gulak is doing his promos, and then, you know, he pauses for a reaction, and there's nothing. There's just dead silence.
Michael on Slam Pigs last Wednesday live. Go back, guys. Cheap plug. Check that out. He pretty much did it tremendously. Get rid of main event. Why is that a thing? Any of those shows, and just put 205 Live there. History has shown us that WCW Cruiserweights were the perfect way to warm a crowd up. Those guys. I went back the other day. I even tweeted it out, and I watched the random Clash of the Champions from '97 and opened with Ultimo Dragon and Dean Malenko. And that crowd, I don't know if there was a dark match or not before that. Either way, they were behind every move like it was for the world title. It was insane. And I think Gulak would get those reactions if it was booked properly, like you said. I couldn't agree more with anything you said. It is the booking placement. The fans already came to see the AJ Styles. And what the fuck is that? That's the equivalent to being like, you know, back in the day, sticking around for Steve Austin and The Rock, main eventing on Raw for the title, right? You saw it. You paid your money. Even Austin and The Rock in a throwaway tag match from Raw, you still saw the stars. Stick around for Aguila and Gilbert for the light heavyweight title. You know what I mean? It's just not there. It's not logical.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to say, you know, for the poll results for that, though, it's funny. Yes got 33%. No got 7%. So look, there is some people that say no, but there's majority of them that say yes. But I also added 2 others that, you know, just because I just thought, you know, why not? Maybe got 13%. And then the winner of the poll was Drew Gulak with 47%. So Drew Gulak.
Does it come to a big shock?
No, but it's just to me, Drew Gulak winning that, and he wasn't even a part of the question. That's just...
He's at the point where he's a GIF. He's established. He is a meme. He's a perfect meme character. I've seen so many Gulak memes now, and it warms the cockles of my heart every time I see it. Because I feel like he's our guy. Like, we saw him before anyone else did, and goddamn you people, he's ours. Come hell or high water. And, you know, I like Cedric, but let's cut the shit in the booking. I've seen the plot holes through it all week, ever since Raw this week, guys, before we get to the review, and I promise it's coming, because I know we're ranting this week. Why the fuck does Cedric Alexander deserve a second chance? Why not by default? Doesn't Gulak, who earned his shot, just get the fucking shot? We've seen this in King of the Ring tournaments with buys. It's okay then for Mabel to get a bye to the finals. You know, fuck me, but Gulak. And it's just, you know, the fact that they're prolonging it and they didn't do that makes me think he's just not getting the title. But then they do angles like this tonight where it's all built around that tension, and it makes me wonder. We'll get to our predictions on that before the end of the show, but man, the tangled web of Gulak, man, and the weird booking of him. I just don't get it.
Yeah. But Travis and Colin, you guys can also see the next week's poll question. I'm going to say it right now, and then everybody can go on Twitter after the show, and I'll have that up. Should Hideo Itami go straight for the Cruiserweight Championship? That will be the next question.
I don't know. I don't know if Hideo should. I know Hideo should, but...
Oh, well, you know what? You know what? I'm tired. I'm trying to get it out, you know. Shut up, Colin. I'm trying to be nice to you this show. Come on.
I'm just saying. I'm just mispronunciations of wrestlers' names bother me more than they should.
You know what? you've done it before too, jackass.
Have I?
Mm-hmm.
Sure, I'll take your word for it.
And
Is that a
Neville
damn show?
apparently was in the news this week. Talks possibly falling through. Colin, I know you're the you get the info on that. You're telling me. I don't know the specifics.
I mean, I'm always on Twitter, so I always see the dirt sheets and all like that. But yeah, apparently Neville walked out. I wouldn't say walked out, but I mean, sort of taking a sabbatical and decided that he wasn't going to do the job to Enzo anymore, and he wanted to leave. He requested his release, but WWE doesn't want to let him go because they realize he's a big star in the cruiserweight division and people enjoy Neville, and so I guess they were trying to work out a new deal, but I guess it came to a standstill, and I don't know what that means. I don't know if it means they're going to let Neville go. I don't know if that means it's just Neville just is going to sit there. So, I mean, we'll find out eventually, but I hope he stays because I mean, I love watching Neville, and I want him to stay, whether it's on the whether it's in the cruiserweight division or whether it's on Raw, fighting for the IC title or something like that. I think Neville versus Roman Reigns for the IC title would be a great match.
Logan, do you like that booking of Ramon Reigns and Neville?
Well,
Sonya Neville. Sorry,
I will say though, the rumors that I've been seeing is that if Neville were to come back, they're looking to push him to SmackDown Live and not Raw, and he would be feuding with a couple of the guys like for the WWE Championship. The one rumor that was going around was heel Neville versus face AJ Styles in the future.
Yeah, those would be great.
I'd be all on board.
Just how they would tell the story is the thing with WWE.
But
what would
Travis,
he call himself now? The king of the what? The heavyweights?
He could just call himself the king.
King of the assholes.
The king.
Logan Myers.
The king of wrestling. There we go. King of wrestling.
That's taken.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wasn't that Cesaro and Chris Hero's name?
Yeah, and it's a little known indie guy called Jerry Lawler. I don't know if you ever heard of him, Logan.
Oh, who cares? They've did this before.
I mean, hey, in Logan's defense, I completely forgot about Jerry Lawler too.
Poor Lawler, poor King. Go play softball, King. It's okay. We'll see. I mean, obviously, we all want Neville back. What do you think?
I do. I think so far, just there's some things that they need to work out. Financial. I think right now, I think it just comes down to money. I don't even think it comes down to where he's booked at anymore. I think Neville just proven that he is money's worth, and I think that's what it's coming down to is money. I think he thinks he's worth more than what he was being paid before becoming a star in the cruiserweight division, and I think that's what he's pushing for.
Not to cut you off, Logan, has it ever come out what he's actually being paid? The logistics?
I think it came out somewhere. I mean, I know it definitely wasn't like
I really
what the top stars are making, but
I feel like we need to know because I mean, if he's getting lowballed, that's a shame because I would say he's definitely way worth more than probably a fucking a guy in the Revival is making or something. I mean, the Revival's really good, but Neville's just, and not to coin their phrase, but on another level. He really has. He's proven that.
Yeah.
He transcends and he really does jump off the screen. It might be as an ugly Lord of the Rings extra, but he jumps off the fucking screen. It's something in this era of just bland fucking, I don't want to say vanilla midgets, but you know what I mean. Just guys that don't, I mean, they're great workers for the most part, but at the end of the day, it's that star factor is still an issue on a big stage like this. It's got to be some in the equation for me, and I think Neville has it.
So, I don't know how recent this was, but I found a article on Sportskeeda, and it says Neville makes like $300,000.
Man, I'd at least pay him $5,000.
Yeah.
I mean,
But I
give
mean,
him some
that's it. He
decent
doesn't.
merchandise so you can, get some of your investment back too. I mean, don't give him this half-ass Photoshop bullshit that I could make in 30 seconds that I wouldn't even use for a fucking thumbnail on my little measly ass channel, let alone put on a t-shirt. Fucking, it was so bad. It was such a bad logo. I could do a whole show on how bad that shirt was, Logan.
Also,
Yeah, it says right here.
shout out to Megan Starr in the chat.
Megan Starr, thank you for joining us as always. Glad to have
Love
you.
you, Megan.
Logan
Love you,
loves
boo boo.
because he's
Um,
luscious. And guys, I mean,
Neville does make what it says is 300 keg. That's all he makes.
what do you guys think? Is that fair for a Neville, or is he being lowballed a little bit?
I think right
I
now,
think-
like if that's what he's
yeah.
making now, he's definitely being lowballed.
Because they pay for their travel. I'm sure he doesn't have a bus. He's not on that level, Neville.
Enzo Amore makes 427k.
Enzo Amore sells merchandise, though. He's proven that. If anything, love or hate him, he does sell merch. He still does. There was a giant G, a fan made, in the crowd tonight that he came over to. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
Yeah, I saw that.
I didn't see any giant fucking N's or crowns in the crowd with Neville. I mean, so Enzo does have that on Neville, I would say. Even if they did boost Neville's pay, I'd probably still give Enzo a little bump too above Neville right now for where they're at least for what they've proven.
I would say what Neville has accomplished surpasses what Enzo Amore deserves. So I think Enzo deserves to stay where he's at, and Neville should get 500 at least.
I kind of
At least
disagree.
bump him up.
I hate to do that because I prefer Neville over Enzo. I got to disagree because I don't see Neville, and like I said, love or hate Enzo, but I never saw Neville in a fucking KFC commercial. I never saw Enzo or Neville in a prominent role at a WrestleMania or anywhere near Enzo and Cass were. You could at least say, and then if I don't know, it's sticky situation, I guess, when you bring money into it and who's worth what. It's just it's who's to say. It's more of a case business wise, and I hate to say it, but it's the nature of the beast. Is what have you done for me lately with guys' pay, and that's usually any facet of employment. I would say, Colin. Do you agree?
Oh yeah, and I mean I can't say that I prefer Neville over Enzo because I don't, but I do think Neville is I mean, granted, that article that I read, I believe, is not completely accurate or up to date as far as what the Stars made for all of 2017. But however, I think as far as what Neville has accomplished in 2017, taking the cruiserweight division to a whole new level, becoming arguably one of the greater cruiserweight champions, I think he definitely deserves at least 500.
Yeah, I agree. At least.
Well, for someone that's tired, for someone that's so tired tonight, Logan, we've gone through all this. We haven't even opened up our review tonight. Look at that, all that show under our belt so far.
I do want one more thing. I hope you don't mind, since we did bring it back last week. I wanted to bring it back just this week and then
It's
take a break
fantasy
next
time,
week.
isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Colin wasn't here last week, so I wanted to be nice to the motherfucker. And yes, I called him a motherfucker because I got to be mean somewhere.
Oh my god!
But cruising around memory lane instead of cruising down memory lane, we're gonna cruise around memory lane and I'm gonna just a little fantasy warfare here. Pick 2 former cruiserweight champions from the past and take 2 cruiserweight division wrestlers from today and put them in a tag team match. And if the cruiserweight division had tag team titles, who would you put it on?
Can I go?
Go ahead.
Sing along with 3 count. Put your hands together. We are 3 count. Man, sorry, it's 3 count. That would be my tag team champions.
Wait, 3 count? Weren't
So Shannon Moore, Gregory Helms, and Evan Courageous, cruiserweight tag team champions in WCW. And they did the
Gotcha.
Backstreet
My
Boys
mind
gimmick.
immediately went to 3-minute warning, and so I was very confused.
Oh God, talk about night and fucking day. Oh God, I didn't mean to make that racial. Jesus Christ, Logan. All apologies, but yeah, I would say 3 count. I love that act as cruiserweights. Two random guys thrown together. Fucking shit. La Parka and I'm serious. I love La Parka. He was so good. He was so underrated. La Parka and that guy from Lucha Underground. What the hell is his name? He's really
Pentagon Jr.
Pentagon Jr. Yes, they probably are a tag team right now in Mexico anyway. But those guys be great. It's my picks, and I sung the 3 count song just for you, Logie.
Thank you, Travis. Thank you. I'm gonna let Colin go, and then I'll give my 2 cents, and then we'll go into the 205 Live results and review.
So we're picking 2 former cruiserweight champions from the past to be like cruiserweight tag team champions now.
Yeah, and to face 2 other cruiserweights of today. Travis, did you even?
Okay.
I just threw two guys together. No, I didn't follow the rules.
Yeah.
It's okay.
All right. In that case, a match that I feel like would be really good is I would go with Rey Mysterio Jr. and Juventud Guerrero versus Gran Metalik and Lince Dorado.
Good stuff. You're a huge Lince Dorado fan. I've come to learn that over the course of doing so many episodes with you. And I agree. Where the hell is he?
I fucking love Lince Dorado and Gran Metalik. And as far as where Lince is, actually, there is some news on that.
Did he restrain his wife in a car? Oh, sorry. Too soon.
No, but I mean, it is somewhere along those lines. I don't know how real this is. I saw it on one of those Facebook pages that likes to think they're a news page, but I mean they've been right in the past, so take it with a grain of salt. But apparently, Lince Dorado was almost fired a couple of weeks ago because I guess one of the creative guys pitched Lince an idea. And Lince pitched one of the creative guys an idea, and when the creative guy turned it down, I guess Lince threatened him, and he almost got fired for it. So that's probably where Lince is.
Well, I guess that means that he travels with Sin Cara, and that's like his mentor.
Yeah, we're gonna need Sin Cara and Lince in a backstage brawl.
My God. What about you, Logan?
Well, my tag team would be Paul London and Billy Kidman as the tag team champions. And as future stars, I would say Mustafa Ali and Akira Tozawa versus them, or Jack Gallagher and the Brian Fucktard. Can you imagine that? Paul London facing his old former tag team partner?
I don't even. Whenever I think of old Brian Kendrick, I look at old Brian Kendrick and I look at current Brian Kendrick, and I don't even think they're the same person.
It's like
I know.
I hate saying.
Speaking of having a transformation over the years, Colin Delaney was on SmackDown tonight.
He was. He sure was. Baby Lorcan.
Yeah. And I mean, hey, I'm pretty sure he's a cruiserweight, so it still fits with the theme of the show. But man, that threw me way off. And I feel like it got overshadowed by the fact that whoever was his tag team partner let out the greatest screech I've ever heard in a wrestling match.
His tag team partner is also already a GIF too, like his shocked look. I've seen a bunch of those already.
Yeah, I saw the shocked look, but I mean, my favorite just was like because I wasn't watching. I was just scrolling on Twitter in my bed. And yeah, I saw video. I saw like a bunch of tweets about how it was like what a great moment, and then I finally saw a video of it, and it was it was so good. And he just gets lifted up by I think it was Eric onto Luke's shoulders, and they're about to do a power slam, and he just lets out this screech, and it was so good.
It looks like the transformation, for anyone that hasn't seen Colin Delaney tonight since his ECW 2008 days, it looks like he committed a felony and he went to prison for 10 years and he's back. And that's the best way I describe. I mean, he's kind of the same. He's a little bit bigger, like he was in the pen, but he's grizzled now, I guess, Logan. But your pick, quite honestly, if Paul London, and if you want to hear more about Colin Delaney, tune in to Slam Picks this week, cheap plug again. Fuck me. I would say if Paul London didn't have so much insane heat for things he said about Triple H and all those fucking shoots and all the stuff he's gone through with them, we would have seen that already. You know what I mean? I was about to say, well, I'm shocked they haven't done that. Well, then I think of all the heat he has, the Paul London coming back against Kendrick. I would dare say maybe he probably would have been in the tournament and they could have crossed paths, kind of like DIY did in a way.
Yeah, I mean that is true. That would be pretty decent. You know, there's another guy that we don't really talk about. I don't think he's really a cruiserweight guy. Why not bring back Scotty 2 Hotty for the cruiserweight division? He looked really good a couple years ago when he went to the NXT with Too Cool to in that one tag team match against the Ascension when the Ascension was actually somebody.
Because unless they're gonna squash him to someone badass, I don't think that's the route they need to go. They need to get it back to what had a buzz. Like, and I'm tired of being a broken record, but that streamlined CWC style. There's a market for that. It's on the network, a niche network to begin with. Fuck it, just do it. I mean, yeah, if you bring him in, not even a squash, okay, maybe like a couple matches here or there for like a program to build a guy up. I don't want to see him as champ.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's not what you're saying either. But
I'm saying no. I'm just saying like just to get some of the old school guys that were fans of Scotty 2 Hotty, and hell, you could bring back Rikishi as his manager or something in the cruiserweight division. Just get some eyes on the division.
You just put Rikishi on 205 Live.
Yes. Just as a manager, I wouldn't have him do any physical contact, but fans would love to see Rikishi anytime, any day of the week.
And he could squash little guys, and it would be hilarious. Actually, now that I think about it,
yes,
so tiny,
yes,
teeny tiny. You could fit a cruiserweight on each ass cheek. I mean, Naya's there anyway, so apparently she's on her way. We'll see. What did you? We talked about that last week. You missed it, Colin. Real quick, thoughts about possibly Naya coming. Do you think it's a good call? Do you like this storyline, or is it fucking wasted?
What a great fucking pause you did there. Thoughts about Naya coming and just pause because she's with Enzo. That was a turn I didn't mean to take, but
oh, you meant every turn of that steer.
Do I gotta steer this shit? Do I gotta steer this shit back in the order? Because that just sounded wrong.
You gotta steer it out of the pussy clouds, because that's where Colin's taking us.
It was definitely wrong. But as far as my thoughts on it, I like it. I think it's different. I think it's kind of like China and Eddie Guerrero. Obviously not with the amount of star power, because I mean you can't really compare Nia and Enzo to fucking China and Eddie Guerrero. But I mean it kind of reminds me of that old thing.
It's the closest I guess maybe we have to that. Is a better way. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just without the roses.
I mean, say what you will. Maybe this is a hot take. I wasn't even a big fan of that, even going back. I thought it was kind of dumb back then with Eddie and China stuff. Maybe it was more just because it was China. I'll just admit it. I wasn't a big fan of the China. I'm an Intercontinental Champions. That's another podcast another day. We haven't even started the review, but continue, Colin. My bad.
Oh, no, that was it.
I just want to say...
Go on.
Sorry, I'm dying. I feel like an asshole. I'm the king of the assholes this week. I'll wear the crown. It's got brown skids on it. Go ahead, Logan.
I just wanted to say I was looking at some of these contracts on the WWE, and how the hell does Cesaro only make $80K?
What? Cesaro only makes 80.
There's no way that's right. Wow. There's no fucking way.
It has to be updated from then. There's no fucking
What
way.
Is that? His fucking FCW pay? What are you fucking?
That is his 2017 pay.
What the fuck? No way.
Jesus.
Dean Ambrose also makes only $80K.
I call bullshit on that because of the merch he sells.
Yeah, I something's wrong. Something's wrong.
This is before the merchandise.
Yeah. I mean, times are kind of tough. Wrestling world isn't exactly on fire.
Gotta cut costs somehow, I guess.
Gotta start somewhere, I guess. Guys, let's finally start somewhere. I guess if you guys are ready, let's do it. It's time for $255 review! I did my best, Gulak. It's time, finally.
Presentation.
Let me do my best here. The show opened this week, Colin, with Araya Daiquiri and Cedric Alexander.
What now?
Aria something.
I'm gonna make it.
Aria Davari and Cedric Alexander opened the show this week, guys.
Who the
Are you trying to like pull a Logan here? Do I need to come through this phone and choke you out?
No, I actually did it because Colin said
right.
getting names wrong
Now
annoyed him.
that's
I thought you were being genuine from like I thought we watched two different things. I'm like, hold on, what the fuck
You
did
thought
I
I was
watch?
two different shades of stupid. Just admit it. You're like, is he retarded? No.
I was about to come
Logan
through
wouldn't
the
even
phone and
butcher the man's name that bad. Trust me.
No. Yeah, Cedric Alexander and Davari had themselves a match, and it was all right. It wasn't great. Not my favorite opening match for 205 Live that I've ever seen.
It's okay.
To be honest with you, a couple months ago when Arya Davari got an opportunity to like showcase what he can do in the cruiserweight division, it fell flat. And I was trying to be a fan. I was trying to get into it, and be like, hey, everybody deserves an opportunity to see if they are those guys, if they could become a cruiserweight champion. And he just does not have it. He just does not.
He has a good finish, but I feel like it'd be better suited for like a Killian Dane. Like I think that'd be badass to give him as a finisher, like the inside out clothesline shit.
That would be sick. Yeah, Killian Dane. Oh, I just literally thought about doing that move to somebody.
Calm down, Logan.
Wow.
Jesus.
I'm just saying, if he did the inside out clothesline, oh my goodness, wow.
But I mean, the finish, as always, no matter pretty much whoever Alexander's working, the finish looks nice. Notes real quick though, Noam Dar injured, guys.
Yeah, Noam Dar out needs knee surgery. Apparently, I haven't heard that from anywhere else other than Drew saying it on TV. But I mean, it's not like they could say, Noam Dar needs knee surgery and then have him come back in a month.
I mean, maybe
so
he failed a piss test. It's kayfabe. I don't know.
Well,
Logan.
He did indeed have an injury, and he does need a knee surgery. It's what
one
I'm
of those
looking
cases where I feel, and I hate to say it, where like it's probably for the better when a guy gets injured and gives him time to go away for a little bit because they weren't going to do anything with him. He's a total backdrop guy, and it's a shame for anyone that's seen his work in ICW, like we said in prior episodes. But maybe he'll come back and it'll be the division will be in a different booking situation, and there's a place for him better. I mean, I think he's talented. He doesn't need to talk, quite frankly, and if he does, short spurts.
Yeah.
And don't say Alicia Fox.
Does he kind of need to at this point? Is that kind of his gimmick? Just to say that? Like, that's all the casuals know him as, that guy that says Alicia Fox. That's a shame. And he wears the weird jackets. Well, we'll see. I guess best of luck to Noam Dar, Logan.
Yeah, let's hope that everything goes okay and everything's all right. If it's real, if it's a serious injury, let's hope he gets healthy and back on the road as soon as possible. As for Arya Davari and Cedric Alexander knows how to put on a match with anybody. And I just, everybody likes the fact that he can work really well. I like the fact that he can sell even more and even better than he can work.
Yeah, I mean, I just wish he was across the boards more well-rounded because his promos is weak suit, as we've seen. And I think that's going to bite him in the ass in Vince's eyes, unfortunately. Well, hopefully, I don't know.
Monday night was not bad.
That's true.
We've heard worse.
That borderline may have been the best one he's cut since he's been in the company, actually, that you bring it up.
Yeah. So maybe, just maybe, he can turn it around with that. Maybe that was his test by Vince. Put him on the mic. Let's see what he's got.
Logan is the best Vince in the world. There's nobody even close to Logan's Vince. Colin, do you agree with that statement about what's Logan saying about Cedric?
Yeah. That's I do agree.
There you go.
I just maybe that was a test. Do you guys agree with that? That maybe that was a test on Monday to see if he can cut the promo now?
No, I don't think
Because we haven't
anybody.
really heard him.
Adam Pearce apparently has the book. He's the Booker man, right? Behind 205. Allegedly.
It's
Apparently. I don't think this is anywhere on his radar. I don't think we'd be seeing as much Gulak as we have if Vince. I mean, maybe, but I feel like these guys are starting to get a little more free reign. As far as I don't know,
needs to be. I think everybody in the company needs to be a little given that little push to do what they want to do, like back in the old days and stuff
always,
like that, like Stone
always.
Cold. I think
That's a no fail recipe every time it's done. But for some reason, we just don't get that because it's a different time with corporate wrestling, basically. But um, other than that, we'd all agree the match is nothing to write home about. Don't go out of your way to see it. I guess to see it, the finish if you like the lumbar check, and it is a sick move. One of my favorite moves in WWE. Where did that take us to next, Logan?
the match between Kalisto and Jack Gallagher. Um, that was an okay match as well.
Hey, okay. Are you guys ready? Shocker of the week. I really enjoyed this. This is the first time since his match with Baron Corbin I've seen Kalisto tell a great story. The way that Gallagher worked the body part, the way that Kalisto sold it, this whole match. This is my match of the week on 205 Live. This is great. I enjoyed it, and I kind of zoned out at first, and then I saw like this Wigan British style wrestling from Gallagher at first, and that always piques my interest. So I'm a little tuned in. This Billy Robinson style, you know how he does, and it was just good. His fucking new theme music is tremendous. I just wish maybe they'd regal him a little
Yeah,
bit more and take him a little more serious in the division. I'd love to see that.
he's a very good heel, and the only thing is, for me, if anybody's gonna take Jack seriously as a heel and as a competitor in the division now, he has more wins under his belt as a face than he does as a heel right now, and I think that's kind of hurting him. For me personally, he needs more wins.
Oh yeah, I mean we didn't get that tonight, obviously, and that was the worst part of this match. Is this, I don't know, Colin. I legit thought Gallagher broke his nose on that Hurricane Rana, and then the way he was selling it, his nose looked a little beat red. I was like, damn, did he legit break it? But I don't think he did. But that was a nice spot. I don't know. Did you enjoy this match at all, or did you just like zone out for it because of the booking? And I don't think anyone would blame you for that either, quite frankly.
I mean, I thought the episode as a whole was just kind of but I mean, I did think Kalisto versus Jack Gallagher was a good match. I mean, Kalisto, he's proven that he's, he's definitely what a cruiserweight should be. He's high flying, he has charisma, at least in the ring. On the mic, but I mean, he's there. Jack Gallagher, on the other hand, he's one of the few people who he kind of actually has a character and he has something going for him, and he's wrestling in the suit. It could just be me, but I mean, I fucking love that. So I mean,
would
I
say
think
it suits him.
oh, God.
It's starting to rub off on me now that like I can actually I didn't like it in the beginning, but now it's not really killing my eyes to
I've
see him
already
wrestle
updated
in
my
that now.
WWE version of Jack Gallagher with the vest suit. That is my Jack Gallagher in the game, so I dig it too. I think it suits him. Not to make the joke yet, but I really do think it does. It makes him stand out more as a character in a way. I mean, the striped undies were okay, the ones that look like a candy wrapper, but come on, if you're gonna go villain, you can't have a no knee pads little guy. You gotta, I don't know.
I definitely prefer the suit over, the old, baby face looks like a hot air balloon trunks that he used to have.
What'd you think the promo, by the way, real quick? The pre-match Kendrick and Gallagher promo. Let's pretend the crowd was actually into it. Just take the promo by itself. I think I was actually taken back that they actually referenced Kendrick having a title reign. When's the last time we saw that on a promo from him?
No, I haven't. I can't remember.
I mean, it's hard to think of it's weird to think of the cruiserweight champions pre Neville. I mean, I think it was only TJP, Rich Swann, and Kendrick. But I mean, as far as was there anyone before before Neville and after Kendrick, or did Neville beat Kendrick for the belt?
For like a day.
Oh yeah, Tozawa's 6-day reign. I forgot about that stupid fucking decision.
I mean, it was a good decision, just bad timing, horrible timing, and why do it then? Just tell that story, but
And
they just blew
Kalisto.
their load.
don't forget Kalisto's reign.
I think we all have, or try to already. I would try to forget that even happened because it was a pandering to Eddie Guerrero, like we always say, in my opinion.
Yeah,
It was like a last minute. Let's try to get the crowd involved, and maybe the crowd liked the fact that they're referencing Eddie. But at the end of the day, you can't expect the fans to get behind a title reign just because of Eddie Guerrero and just because Kalisto's Hispanic or whatever.
Exactly. And Logan, I know this probably put the biggest smile on your face tonight. Grand Metalik made his return after the match to save Kalisto from the beatdown.
Fuck you. Yes. Fuck.
I was so happy.
Thank God. So happy. Grand Metalik is one of the best performers in the cruiserweight division, and his in-ring style is just oh my goodness. This is why I chose him on WWE 2K18 to face you, Travis.
Yep. Is he getting pudgier, or is it just me? Not to be an asshole. Is he kind of looking like super crazy a little bit?
He does kind of look a little bigger.
Maybe they're keeping him backstage around the catering too much. Get him out there, guys. I mean, I know I'm being a dick, but it was noticeable. It was. I love him. He's great. There's no reason he shouldn't have been the champion by now. You talk about a contender for Neville that was right under their nose the whole time. They never pulled the trigger on it. He jobbed to Neville multiple times on television because I remember reviewing it. That's another guy. You know what?
It's bad.
Logan, to bring it full circle, talk about that perfect transitional feud for Tommy right now. Because it would suck that he would lose, but Tommy Metalik would be tremendous matches, I feel like.
Oh my goodness, can you imagine? But for me, Grand Metalik was in the finals of the Cruiserweight Classic. And
I mean, you can't say he's never fought for the Cruiserweight title, because he technically has once.
Yes, but TJP has had his title reign, and Grand Metalik was in the finals and still hasn't got his opportunity to hold that belt. So, and everybody else has.
And their argument is always like, well, WWE, for every title in that company, they need to have heat built around it. They can't just have a competitive title. They'll start it for a while. I think the most consistent we've seen now is the UK Championship. They haven't gone anything hokey, and it may have just cursed it. Knock on wood. But I think in the way this Enzo thing is bringing heat and interest to it, they think, obviously not with the Borg chance, we'll get to hear in a second in the next segment or so, but this isn't the title to do that with. It should have never been that way. I know we're beating the dead horse, but my God, this is not complicated. A cruiserweight title, a smaller division, what is that based around? What does that scream to you? Flip-flying, in-ring competitive, the matches should tell the flow of the show. They should dictate the show, not the show and the hokiness dictating the pace of the matches. Ooh, I'm fired.
I agree.
I'm stealing your gimmick. I'm sorry. I'm hot fire Logan Myers. Kalisto and Grand Metalik, all that aside. Go ahead, Logan.
I agree so much with you on that one. And also, shout out to a guy that's also got injured. Tyler Bates is also injured, and I think I heard requires surgery as well. So,
when the fuck did that happen?
Supposedly it was either at a live event or during that match against for the champion, the United Kingdom champion on NXT. No.
Well, he was at the recent NXT tapings because he's going to face well, I mean, the match has already obviously been taped, but I mean, he fought Tyler Bate for the UK title again.
Yeah, I'm saying Tyler Bates, the one that got injured against Pete Dunne.
I'm sorry. He faced Pete Dunne for the belt.
Yeah,
that's what
he supposedly got injured during that match. So
that sucks, big time. If it's true,
another young talent, 20 years old. He's younger than me. That's crazy.
Yeah,
I feel old.
He's borderline a prodigy. He works way beyond his years, Tyler Bate.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know that, mashed potatoes are delicious, but they're only better when you pour gravy all over them. And my gravy is flavored Gabba Gabba Gulak. It's finally time for some Gulak. I know that's kind of disgusting sounding
Please
now that
tell
I think
me it's
about it.
Popeye's gravy.
We got the Zo Train backstage, guys. Tony Nicenzo Amore, Ari Davari, and Drew Gulak. What went down, Logan? And how do you think this came off?
It came off retarded.
That's
And I hate
it's
that word. I shouldn't say
translucent
that.
of you, Logan.
The segment came off as it was okay, but it was just like they didn't know what to do for tonight, so they just threw something together last minute.
I didn't hate this. I find myself not. I don't want to say captivated by this, but I was into this by the end of it, and I had to take a step back. Like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I don't know what it was. I don't know. And it's not just the Drew Gulak thing. I guess I'm a sucker for in-house heel stable friction. No matter how bad, they always get me with that kind of shit. I don't know.
I think they fell flat. I don't see why they needed to pull this off right now.
I was confused more than
Nese,
anything.
Yeah, why was Tony Nese the guy that they had to
Tony Nese hasn't done a fucking thing. I mean, he lost the thing, but I mean, as long as Gulak won, who gives a shit?
You know what I
then
do?
just randomly.
You know what I do, Colin, to find myself I pretend like in the booking, like Enzo has like mob ties, and that's why like no one will strike him, and that's why he can be so dominant, and that makes the storylines more captivating for me. See what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's a ticket, man.
I mean, I could definitely believe Enzo Amore is tied to the mob.
Because other than that, you're watching this, you're like, why don't these guys just knock this fucking guy out? Why are they so under his spell? It makes it. You're right. It does make no sense. It really doesn't. It's dumb.
I don't.
But
it's like car crash. I can't
that.
stop fucking watching it. It's like I know it's dumb, Colin, but I can't stop. You bring on the popcorn for this for some fucking reason. Because Logan has brainwashed me into thinking the show's good after 22 episodes.
I enjoyed the segment. Obviously, the fans in attendance did not. No. But at the same time, I was just sort of sitting there's like, why are they randomly just beating the shit out of Tony Nese? Like, I didn't get it.
At least the fucking mic worked this week. At least the crowd could hear him.
Yeah, I didn't. I watched the Botchamania episode the other day, and apparently, it didn't pick up for watching the show live. So I mean, I didn't notice anything about not hearing Drew, and then apparently the microphone wasn't working, and it wasn't working on Raw the other week, and so at least it worked this time. I did like how Drew Gulak was just like debating internally, like, do I hit Enzo? Do I hit Tony Nese? And then he goes after Tony Nese. I'm gonna say it. I think Drew Gulak is gonna walk out as the next cruiserweight champion.
I'm leaning towards that too. Like, why would they?
I don't know when the fuck this match is supposed to happen. Like, the Rumble isn't until fucking January, and Raw does not have a pay-per-view until the Rumble. So I don't know when the fuck this match is supposed to happen or how long they're going to drag this out. But, I mean, right now, I'm leaning more towards Gulak walking out as Cruiserweight Champion. Even if it is just, one of those, like, Akira Tozawa reigns of, like, a week and then Enzo wins it back. But I think he'll walk out with the Cruiserweight Championship one way or another.
Watch us all end up looking like dumbasses, and like it's already aired on like Tribute to the Troops. We just didn't know, and everyone else knew. No, I know that's like 2 days, but something like.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Real quick, Tribute to the Troops. Real quick, Logan. Sorry, Tribute to the Troops. I want to say it doesn't look like a throwaway show. Like when they do them in the arenas the past couple years, just so. But now that it's like actually like kind of on an aircraft carrier again, it's like a throwback to the 2003 ones. You know what I mean? Like it's. I don't watch them ever. I'll come clean. I never watched Tribute to the Troops, but I mean it's cooler visual, I guess.
I think I'll watch this week's just because I like how it's also like a dual brand show kinda, but it looks like an interesting show. It's not necessarily a throwaway, but at the same time it like nothing's gonna happen on the show that's gonna lead to anything in particular.
Well, we won't do spoilers. I think, yeah.
But I will. There is one spoiler I will do. Raw was the beginning of the show supposedly, and then they had to leave the carrier just so they can go to a live event somewhere else. That's
thank
how,
you, Uncle Sam.
literally.
Pin me, pay me. I'm out, pretty much. Thank you for your service, troops. Wow. Um, Jesus Christ, Vince. Get out of there. We got more money to make. Fuck the trips. Sorry.
But the next segment on the 205 was the announcement of Hideo Itami will be debuting next week, like Colin said earlier in the
Say
show.
what you want about him coming or going. The guys have opinions on it. This was well done.
I'm liking the simple vintages. I like it, and I mean they did have more of like an in-depth one this time, but I mean I just kind of like the simple thing that they're going with as far as how they're gonna do it. Are they just gonna like hotshot him to the title? I feel like what's gonna end up happening is, you know, Drew will win the belt off of Enzo, but then he's just gonna lose it right to Hideo.
In like 8 seconds, like Bob Backlund and Diesel style.
Yeah, just immediate. The bell rings and immediate, GTS, and then boom, done.
Ugh.
That would.
Black. At least he could get a title reign under his notch, though.
It's true. I had no idea he was a former CZW heavyweight champion until the other day.
Funny you mention it. I think I brought it up before. He's done this same exact gimmick in CZW, but it was more like it was like a Carino. It was more like an anti-hardcore thing, right? Where he was like the old school gimmick. So maybe this is kind of where they caught wind of it, because Jimmy Jacobs was there, and all the Adam Pearce and all those guys are there, hands on. Obviously, they've come and gone through CZW and all made the rounds. So obviously, but yeah, I didn't know that either. That he was in, let alone he did an angle like that. So I thought that was neat. Hashtag neat.
Yep. Hashtag Tony Nese.
Tony Neat. But yeah, the end of this skit backstage was Enzo made the match against Tony Nese, and everybody looked sad, like puppies, like he just scolded them, and that's how they went back. And I guess that took us to our main event, correct, Logan?
Yep, Tony Nese versus Enzo Amore.
Oh, that's right. We brought up the Hidami. You're not the only one that can't say it this week. The Hideo Itami vignette. What did you think about that, real quick? Because I didn't get what you said on it.
I like it. It's old school vintage. I'm excited for him to show up. I just like we've mentioned, Rockstar Spud is on his way also. Is that even going to be his like wrestling name in WWE?
Actually, TNA has a parent or global, whatever the fuck they want to be called this week. Apparently, I don't know what exactly to call it, but they have an agreement now where TNA wrestlers, when they leave and go to like, if they were to go to like a Lucha Underground or an ROH or TNA or a WWE, they can use their TNA name and they can use their entire gimmick. So, for instance,
Laura Van Ness, possibly too.
Yeah, EC3. If he goes to WWE, which supposedly has been rumored, he can go as Ethan Carter III. And so that being said, I mean, I don't know if it applies to Rockstar Spud since he's been gone. He's been gone like I think a month or two before this news came out. But if it still applies to him, then he should still be able to wrestle as Rockstar Spud.
Yeah, and he was.
I don't know what the hell else you're gonna call him.
He was technically kind of in the news this week because a lot of people like literally couldn't put two to two together just by watching the vignettes of Shayna Baszler. That's who it is, guys. If the little spades on the NXT clips of who's coming didn't give it away, it's Shayna Baszler. A lot of people assumed it was Spud.
I mean, I think it's Shayna Baszler too. And, people were saying Spud. There were other people saying it was Donovan Dijak, who personally, I mean, I said it too. I said it could be him, but I mean, the more I looked at the vintage, I'm just like, okay, yeah, no, it's definitely.
Well, at least, if anything, it better be Baszler now, so we don't look like dickwads about it being wrong.
Right. No, it's going to be Baszler, because, I mean, I'm not going to spoil what she did or what happened, but she was at the recent NXT TV taping, and she did, make an appearance doing something. So, I
Yeah.
mean, she is there. So I assume it's her.
There you go. But yes, the main event, Tony Nese, Enzo Amore. Enzo Amore coming out, actually getting a little mild reaction. He's not, it's there still, Logan. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's still there, unfortunately.
That's never going to go away. They're not going to totally whitewash away all his babyface heat because a lot of the ingrained fans are younger, and that sticks with, like, I'll be flat out honest. When, like, my kids get on to play WWE 2K18, Enzo's one of the guys they pick. They don't care if he's a dick. He's funny to them. He's like a Muppet, kind of, if you think about it.
Yeah.
A Muppet. I like that.
Especially
Muppet.
with the hair. Like, the one Muppet that was like, me. Whatever, Beaker. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I know the
Fucking
one you're talking about.
Muppets reference. Hopefully they don't pop up on Raw next week. What'd you think of how, I mean, Tony Nese was sad. We didn't get the 8 count, Logan. No ab count this week.
Damn it. Tony Nese deserves better.
We have to get a 16 count next week to make up for this week.
We do.
Oh, Jesus.
No, he really does deserve better.
Then he would have an Undertaker.
All these fucking
He's
guys
gonna have
deserve
an
better,
Undertaker.
though, so.
Rumor has it he doesn't even have a dick. Under his trunks are just more abs.
Oh, jeez.
He has abs on his
Only
dick.
Colin would know.
No, he doesn't even have a dick. It's just abs.
Only
Guys in the
Colin
chat,
would
guys,
know.
listen to this on demand. Get that's trending. Hashtag dick abs. Logan, Colin,
go.
real quick. What did you think of how this whole thing played out and how they closed the show? Obviously, the boring chants, just this in-house drama they're trying to get heat from that doesn't seem to be there.
Yeah, it's like I said at the top of the show, it's just really upsetting how little of a reaction like Gulak gets, and and this was, I feel like it was kind of getting a reaction at first because I mean you had Enzo being all cocky and saying who wants a technical spectacle, and part of me believed for a quick second that they were actually gonna do that, and I'm like it was gonna be like a mini breakout match for like Enzo Amore, and then it was really sad to just sort of watch Enzo just like bitch out Tony Nese, because Tony Nese is obviously really good, and like you said, Travis, they're like
Mob ties.
Yeah, the mob ties. They don't attack Enzo. They've had ample opportunities to just say fuck this guy, but they never have, and and I don't understand it. But in Gulak, like in a kayfabe way, I can understand Gulak because I have this opportunity, and so if I stay close to Enzo, I can catch him off guard and win the belt. But I mean, and but guys like Daivari, I mean, Noam Dar is out now, so it doesn't really matter about him. But with Tony Nese, like Tony Nese gonna gain from any of this.
Yeah, Logan.
Maybe he'll turn face.
I mean, I feel like this was his face turn.
Do fans care enough to even, like, they could just put him right back in the stable next week, and I don't think anybody would notice, except people like us that have to cover this. Maybe.
I don't know that there's just. I don't know. Tony Nese was. I don't know. Yeah, I don't even know if a face turn would benefit him in the long run.
Did you guys catch the line when Enzo came in with the mic talking shit? He said, "You and I are going to be a technical spectacle," like you said, but he said, "We're going to be in there working." Like, and he said it like breaking kayfabe style, like working a match. You think it's going to come out? He's going to have even more heat for that? Because I don't know if it was just me that noticed that. I was like, damn, that was kind of blurring the fucking fourth wall or whatever.
Yeah, I noticed. I didn't think a whole lot of it, but
I could see Vince just like beat red getting wind of that. Him do that. What did he do in my ring? God, I didn't like this. I guess, jokingly I said it was quote unquote captivated by the thing earlier. I guess like it's so bad it's good train car crash, can't stop watching. This was the opposite for me. Just we're stagnating again in our main angle. Cedric Alexander, I feel like, that's why I feel like they're going Gulak too, Colin. To wrap up my final grade on the show, I'm going C. I'll give it a C. It's better than last week's. It's good to see Grand Metalik back. Great Kalisto Gallagher match. I would say go not out of your way, but try to watch it. No big deal. It was good for me, I guess.
If you don't see it, it's okay. If you do, it's good.
If you don't see it, Logan will still be here next week either way to either bitch or love it, right?
Yeah, because I gave this episode a complete fuck up. I gave it an F.
Ooh, I'm a fair man. I'm a fair asshole. You're just an asshole. Go ahead, Logan.
Well, sometimes you gotta be an asshole for them to actually fucking change what they're doing and make it better.
It's true.
Not wrong. He's not wrong.
It's very true.
I think I'll agree with Travis. I'll give it a C. It wasn't a good episode by any means, but I mean it wasn't completely just god. I'll give it a C plus solely just for Grand Metalik.
I think I'd give it a C more now because coming out of this episode, finally, I come out watching 205 Live thinking, okay, we're going somewhere now, as opposed to I just watched a house show for an hour. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's the
But
best
you
way
did
for
watch
me to
a
describe
house
it,
show.
I guess. I don't know.
I still feel we watched the house show.
Yes, and Colin, you're.
I mean, hey, they got to prepare for the actual house shows they're gonna do.
Well, I was also going to say before we wrapped up real quick, and thank you again, everyone that stopped in the chat tonight. We really appreciate you guys. The reason we do this, Colin talked about it last week on Slam Pigs on here. What do you think of this bumblefuck boneheaded decision to solo brand 205 Live on the road?
I mean, if it works, good. If not, it's going to be really sad. I don't know what their attendance thing is going to be like, but I mean, if I live in the area that, they're doing the show, if it's more than like a 20-minute drive from my house, I wouldn't even bother. Because, I mean, the main event is apparently Enzo Amore defending the Cruiserweight belt against Kalisto. And it's with Nia Jax as the special guest referee. I mean, what's going to happen. Do you even need to go? I mean, especially if it's only the Cruiserweight roster they have now. Because, I mean, with the Cruiserweight roster they have now, that's, 4 matches they can do? 5, maybe? Like, it wouldn't be a good show. I mean, if they mix in some people, if they mix in some, NXT guys like an Oni Lorcan or something like that, then, maybe it would be worth it. But, I mean,
that's what I said.
Paper,
that's what I said. I give it 2 weeks before it's failing, and they co-brand with NXT to get ticket sales up.
I agree.
I don't know what they're going to do. I don't think I would even drive 5 minutes to see Kalisto and Enzo again.
You know what? Can you guys hear me real quick?
Yeah.
Yep.
Tech issues aside. You know where people can drive to this Sunday night, Logan? What's going on right here on the channel?
Sunday night, you guys can check the Slam Pigs podcast with me as the co-host, replacing Michael since he's got work, on the Clash of Champions post show, alongside Travis and anybody else that wants to show up.
Maybe a few smoking aces up our sleeves, a few surprise guests. Yes, this Sunday night, guys, Clash of Champions post show live right here. Be there or be square. Real quick, before we get out of here, Colin, man, thank you for joining me, taking the time out of your busy work schedule. Join me, as always, my friend. Where can everyone check you and all your good stuff out?
You can check me out on Twitter at UberTieGuy. You can check me out on the Pro Wrestling Roundtable over at James Hebert Side 95's channel. And you can check me out, as always, right here on Slam Pigs Cruise Control.
Hey, man, appreciate you once again. We'll catch you right back here next week. And you know what? He might not be able to flip, fly, or moonsault, but he's got red hot fire and plenty of salt. Logan Myers, the proprietor of Pepperoni Pizzas, the Crown Prince of Pain. Where can everyone check you, your show, and all that good stuff out? My dear sweet pal.
You guys can check me out on Twitter at LoganMyers144. Check Future Wrestling Podcast on YouTube. Go watch the new D-Generation X live show that we just did.
Suck it!
Yeah, Suck It. Yeah. And you guys can check, again, Clash of Champions post show with me, with Travis.
Hey, buddy, I'll see you this Sunday night. Gentlemen, everyone in the chat, everyone on Twitter, as always, we'll catch you right back here next week on the Biggie TMD. Until then, we'll see you right here. Slam Pigs Cruise Control. See that?
Your mama's home, we can bring it, we ain't got no shame. Up, down, turn it around, girl, I can be the one to blame. You first, me first, give it a go. If you with it, then it's all the same. You got everything, you got to just stay. But can you handle this? Can you handle this? Success in life comes when you simply refuse to give up. On a mission so strong that obstacles like failure and loss only act as motivation. I mean, like, no one has the power to shatter your dreams unless you get something telling me to stop. I never do that in the name of love until I've given it my all and it just ain't enough. See, even if it's getting realer than they say it was, straighten up. Who's afraid of what? Players get involved. Nah, you work hard till you're better off. 24/7, 365, never off. Look at me, I'm nocturnal, I don't sleep. My eyes heavy bags and crow's feet, but I won't be stopped. I go from tragedy to majesty. The victory has been woven into my tapestry. My adversaries not cut from the same flag as me. That's why the champion's gonna be who it has to be. This ain't the type of opportunity that just appears. I made it here because I shed blood, sweat, and tears. To get the title, I forever have my sights on. This is where I become an American icon. Yeah. If you a champion, show me you a champion. If you a champion.